So, guys, welcome to this amazing session. Formal greetings to everyone present here. Thanks a lot for the gift of your time. My name is Shrey Tyagi. I'm actually the director and co-founder of Skilliner Technologies, and it's a pleasure to have Mr. Ashish Kumar with us. And I love to introduce him to you guys. So he's actually a blockchain evangelist from IIIT Bangalore. He has worked with a lot of brands like Hero Motor Corp, Luminous, Philips, helped them develop business. And he have, like the more important part is he has helped actually a lot of students to develop an understanding of blockchain algorithms and develop and start a career into the blockchain technology, which is a most revolutionary changing technology these days. And he's a true bearer of knowledge with almost 22 years of experience in the industry. And presently, the best part is he's on board with Skilliner Technologies. He has collaborated with us as a mentor, and he is actually helping the youth out there to actually develop their skill sets. So it gives me immense pleasure to have you, sir, in this meeting. And thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. It's a real pleasure to interact with you guys. And I look forward to many more years of association.
Yep. So that's great, sir. So I'll just begin with a very basic question that helps us who you are and everybody in the meeting understands who Ashish Kumar actually is. So, sir, what do you do actually presently? What are your future aspirations? How's your journey been? So let's start with the journey prospect of it. Like, how's been these 20 years in the industry for you? Like ups and downs and a lot of changes coming up and the IT market changing and all every day. So how it's been for sir? Yeah.
So my lot of experience in the industry has been in the supply chain management industry.
Okay.
So I've been involved with a lot of brands like Hero Motor Corp or JCB, Asahi Glass, Philips, Luminous, Glass Packet. So some of them are Japanese, some of them are Europeans. So I've seen and interacted with a lot of people all over the world. And around 2 to 3 years back, I got interested in blockchain technology because I read that this could be a solution to many of the supply chain problems that we are facing today. So I started reading it myself. I was thoroughly confused. I could not understand much. So then I decided to take a break from the job and then started a regular course with IIIT Bangalore. And then I saw the powerful algorithm, the power behind blockchain technology, that I decided to have my own startup, and wherein we'll be building applications for, mainly we are working on two verticals, supply chain management and distributed finance. On these two verticals, we are trying to build applications for real world problems. And in the meanwhile, during the pandemic, I had some free time to myself. So I started teaching online students as purely as to fill my time gap. But I got real rave reviews and started a small YouTube channel that also got a lot of subscribers and visitors. So now I'm almost like full time into teaching job. I have students from US, Canada, UK, Germany, Middle East, and apart from India, all these countries, and most of them are either young working professionals or students which are doing their undergraduate courses. So basically a lot of students, young youth, they are interested in knowing more about blockchain and how they can transform their career by hopping onto this bandwagon, which is just at the cusp of explosive growth, as I say.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing, sir. It's like a lot of experience into one individual's life, and it inspires a lot of people. So, sir, this is one thing, like this is how your journey has been, a variety of tastes of industry, a lot of experience with some great brands out there. So what I think right now is like what I'm interested in, like you have been into teaching nowadays. So what you look up to in the industry now, like you want to become, like what do you aim for the next 6 months or 1 year? What are your goals? Like I want to see myself there or something. Like what do you aim to right now?
Well, I want to grow in this space of teaching only.
Okay.
So I see that there's a huge gap on what students learn in their institutes and what the industry demands.
Absolutely.
So as soon as they graduate, and they step into the industry, it's a complete shock that they get, because all whatever they've learned in the last 3 to 4 years in engineering, etc., that is practically nowhere seem to be applicable. And what the employers are looking for is look into the future and newer technologies. So those are not really emphasized to that extent in your educational institutions. So to fill up that gap, I feel we have, as somewhat seniors in the industry, we have this responsibility to fill up this gap so that
Yeah.
employers can be,
Agreed.
more sure of what they are hiring, and students can also expect where they are going and what they will be doing in this job.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely, very well mentioned. Like, yeah, there's a huge gap in the industry, like what is actually being taught and what the market is actually demanding, and it's changing every day. So yeah, it's a responsibility for the senior people in the industry that they need to invest in the youth and make this country a superpower. So I'll just take a moment of yours, sir. We also have amongst with us, like we have Hardik Agarwal. He's actually also the director and co-founder of Skillionaire Technologies, and he's actually been a constant support in handling this seminar. So I'll just take a moment, and I want him to share his views, having you on board with us. So Hardik, can you just unmute yourselves, and can you just help us with a small note on Ashish, sir?
Sure. I hope my network supports and I'm audible.
Yeah,
So,
perfect. Yeah.
since the inception of this platform, we had been trying to find somebody who is one, very, very passionate about teaching. Second, the person knows what he's currently doing. So I think we took approximately 2-3 months to find somebody who could fit exactly into both the job descriptions. And we finally were able to find Sir, and he also took some time to decide on this. Us being a new platform, I completely take it, because at that point, even Sir was a little skeptical about how this will go forward for both him and us as a platform. But yes, after that, it has been completely amazing to get insights from Sir about this blockchain technology. Personally, me being from the management space, guys, and if anybody from you is from a field which is not called BTech, it does not restrains you, does not
yeah.
I guess he lost the network. So yeah. So moreover, he wanted to say, sir, we are actually very happy and delighted that you collaborated with us, and it's a proud moment for us to actually have a knowledgeable person with us. So yeah. So sir, the second thing that comes to my mind when I read about, every day I see people tweeting on Twitter, and they talk about blockchain, Bitcoin. So, what is, if someone in the meeting who is not aware of blockchain, he or she doesn't share any background? So, what is blockchain in layman language? What it is like? What is the technology all about? And what its applications are really in the real world that we live in? So, for an Indian person, what it is doing? So, this is what I wanted to know, and the audience also. Yeah.
Okay. So, very simply put, blockchain is a technology. Blockchain is nothing but a database. So, like you have a database, it's like a ledger, Bahi Khata, that we have, at our shops, we can see in our banks. We also have a ledger in our home, that how much is my salary, how much is my EMI, how much is my credit card bill. So, basically, a ledger which does not belong to anybody. It belongs to everybody. So very simply put, like suppose your database does not belong to you, it belongs to the entire community. So for example, a database which is shared among 10,000 people. And if I have to make any entry into the ledger, I have to take a permission, I have to get it verified from everybody. If everybody verifies that, everybody is satisfied that this is not a malicious transaction, then only that transaction will be added to the ledger. So very simply put, a ledger in which you can make an entry, you can make a transaction, but you cannot delete an entry, you cannot modify an entry. So it is an immutable ledger. Immutable means something which cannot be edited. Like for example, a newspaper. You have printed a newspaper. The next day, if you want to erase something which you have printed yesterday, can you do that? Of course not, right? So database which is immutable in nature and is distributed. So all the 10,000 people will have an exact copy of that ledger, of that database. So that is the backbone of blockchain technology.
Okay. So I got to know about what blockchain is in a layman language, and I guess everybody in this meeting got. So the second thing, like, what do you see, like, where it is implemented? Like, a lot of technologies that are happening around, like bank transactions, a lot of things are happening, going every day in and out in the world. So, but like, we are not aware of, like, this is where blockchain is used, or this is where it is presently being used. So this is also a point of interest for a lot of people. So this is, if you can show some light on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, wherever you find a lack of trust between the trading partners, between the people with whom you are transacting, so blockchain helps you build a trust. So, for example, do you trust your bank that if you deposit some money today, will they give you back your money tomorrow? Like what happened with the PMC bank, it happened shortly with Yes Bank also, Lakshmi Vilas Bank also.
Yes.
It happened in 2008 all over the world.
Yeah.
Lehman Brothers collapse and the financial crisis.
Financial
Do you
crisis.
trust your governments that if you put something on them, will they be able to deliver it tomorrow? We don't trust our banks. We don't trust our family members. How can I give you a loan? Suppose, Mr. Shrey, you want a loan of 1 lakh rupees. Would I be ready to give you a lakh of rupees? Perhaps no, because I don't trust you whether you will return me the money or not. So I better put it maybe in gold, or maybe in stock market, or maybe in an FD. So if you want to build trust among each other, so blockchain is a technology which can help build trust. So we are both interacting with a smart contract over the blockchain.
Yeah.
So that smart contract has a code which cannot be edited. If I'm readily agree to interact with it's something like a trusted intermediary. So I can trust a smart contract because its transactions are verified by thousands of people on the blockchain. So thousands of people will not speak a lie. I can trust them that all these people, if they are verifying a transaction, then I can trust those network. So this is where it's the biggest. So it can be in a supply chain management like e-commerce. It can be in insurance industry. It can be in real estate transactions. It can be to track a fraud, like a fraud or counterfeit. Yeah. And apart from banking industry, where it all started from. So there are numerous applications wherever you do not trust your trading partner. You can bring in a blockchain. The network can verify the transactions on your behalf, and you will be able to, transact much more confidently.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely, sir. Very well said. And seems like when you're delivering this knowledge to us, I feel like, yeah, it's something that we should rely on. And yeah, this is, now I get to know like why everybody is writing blogs on blockchain saying that it's the like one of the most trending technologies of the future and present. So, sir, I wanted to know something like what, like everybody is talking, right? Everybody is giving their views on the prospectus of like blockchain as the future technology, blockchain as the game changer or something. So what do, like, we know you as a specialist in blockchain, what do you feel like your views on this, like blockchain as the future technology or the blockchain, the next gen technology? So what it is like your views on this, like, is it completely true or it has some dark sides or demerits also? So like, yeah.
Yeah, of course, every technology has its pros and cons. But I see blockchain as having a lot of potential in the coming years because of the immutability that it performs. So if you want to have a trust between your the database that you are transacting, so how do you know whether the same conditions will hold true tomorrow or not? For example, if you're getting an IoT data, so that IoT data can be manipulated tomorrow if there is a need be. So how do I come to know that the data which I'm capturing on an IoT device, is it going to remain the same 2 years or 2 months or 2 days down the line also? So I have an AI engine. An artificial intelligence is generating some data. Now I want to save that data somewhere which cannot be edited. So blockchain will form that backbone together with AI, together with IoT, that the data that they are generating, they have to be preserved in a manner which would be for all times to come, and which is verified by hundreds and thousands of nodes all over the world.
Yeah.
So I could be wrong, you could be wrong, but the whole network cannot be wrong. So that is where CCTV coverage, for example. I'm having the CCTV coverage. If I need that coverage tomorrow, so where do I go and fetch it from? Suppose there's a burglary in my neighborhood. So
Okay.
there is a CCTV camera installed by some agency.
Yeah.
So how do I access that? So those
Yes.
are the things, IoT devices, artificial intelligence, they all are generating data, but the data quality needs to be monitored, the data
And
quality needs to be adhered to.
yes.
So this is where blockchain will become very, very important to be implemented here.
Okay.
The
So
future is very bright.
yeah. So if I put it short, it's like it's one of its kinds of banks where you can store your data and where you can preserve your data, use it wisely. And the
Yeah,
security, if we talk about, is not managed by only one guard that is sitting outside your bank physically, but
exactly.
it's managed by millions of individuals who are trusting
Yeah,
blockchain as a technology for the future, right? So this is
exactly.
what it is. Yeah. So that's absolutely great, and I feel like the people sitting behind these cameras would be figuring out one thing कि यार Bitcoin के ऊपर कब बात करोगे? So let's jump into Bitcoin, which is one of the most hot selling things in the market right now. So sir, I just recently watched a podcast of Kunal Shah and Ranveer. They were talking about Bitcoin, and he regularly tweets. Now, then when we go abroad, we see Mr. Elon Musk coming up with a tweet,
Mm.
right? So, and one more thing, which is Tesla, a company which is like recently the most trending ones, and the people who are like virtually like controlling this market right now. These people put up a share of like hold of 1.5 billion USDs, and they take up this, and they say that we also aim to invest in Bitcoin in future and hold these stakes and the investment that we are doing for a long term. So what do you think, like Bitcoin in India? If I see as an individual, I feel it's like it's still a delusion for a lot of people, where they think it's
Mm.
safe or not, और
Mm.
हमारा पैसा वापस आएगा नहीं आएगा, like we are investing
Mm.
through some trading apps or something. So is it actually secure? And this is one question. Secondly, Bitcoin as a personal, like as an investment means, is it solid enough? So this is what I want to know, and the audience right now.
Okay, before I start, I want to put it very clearly to everybody that cryptocurrencies, whether it is Bitcoin or Ether or Litecoin or Dogecoin or anything, the trading of Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency is completely legal in India as on date. 90% of the people that I interact with, the first question they ask me is that is it legal or is it a shady business? So I want to tell them that it's completely legal. Exactly 1 year back, Supreme Court had given its directions to RBI that this is completely legal and you cannot block the development of cryptocurrencies. So let's put that controversy to rest for the moment. Whatever happens tomorrow, I really don't know. So second thing is that Bitcoin being the first application of blockchain technology started in 2009. So it is again built on the distributed ledger technology that the assets we are minting these Bitcoins on a regular basis, and there's a certain formula of demand and supply that is deriving the price. So the price is not fixed by any government. The price is purely based on price of demand and supply. So there is a demand that 10 people are buying and 5 people are selling. So the price is going up. The day 5 people are buying and 10 people are selling, the price is going down. So it's a completely free market economy, like you have in a stock market in NSE or BSE. So the price is purely a function of demand and supply.
Demand and supply.
In fact, in BSE, NSE, there is a ceiling that more than 10% fluctuation is not possible, more than 20% is not possible. But here there is no ceiling also because there is no owner.
Okay.
Practically, there is no owner, and everybody is an owner, or should I say, everybody is an owner.
Yeah.
There is no board of directors, there is no managing director of Bitcoin. So the inventor is also anonymous. So the code of Bitcoin is also cannot be altered. So it's completely legal. It's completely safe. Obviously, the fluctuations in the value are derived by demand and supply. So there is a demand today because PayPal has started accepting it.
Yeah.
Because Tesla has said that they could be transacting using Bitcoin tomorrow.
Bitcoin.
Because JP Morgan is now doing it. Visa and MasterCard is doing it. Deutsche Bank is doing it. So there are a whole lot of companies. Uber is saying that you could pay using Bitcoins probably in a couple of years' time. So all these people, when they are saying, so people are hoarding it also, and people are expecting to do business with Bitcoin also in the near future. So this
Yeah.
is exactly the reason there is a jump in the price. Otherwise, there is no bubble. It's a huge $1 trillion value. It's practically impossible that a $1.5 billion worth purchase by Elon Musk can drive the market up or down.
Okay.
So this is practically beyond anybody's capability to really drive the price of Bitcoin. Yes, the market sentiments play their own game. If Elon Musk says that I don't feel that Bitcoin should be priced that high, so the market sentiments come
Sentiments.
down.
Yeah.
After a couple of weeks, now they are up again. They are again back to this level of $60,000. So this fluctuations will continue, which is a healthy sign of a free market economy. But apart from that, the safety is to the highest level, and it is backed by all the distributed nodes spread all over the world. And I don't think so there is any threat to the Bitcoin algorithm as such.
Okay. So, yeah, I got to know entirely about these things. So, sir, let's take a moment and between and let's interact with our lovely audience who have spared this time for us and they have given this gift of time to us. So, any questions from anyone? Like we have discussed about blockchain, we have discussed about Bitcoin, we have discussed about the legalities and what blockchain is about, its real applications. So someone from the audience who would like to ask some questions, like anyone, if you guys are planning to invest in Bitcoin now and you have certain questions to ask, so please go ahead. Megha, if you have something in mind. Soumya, Megha, Pratiksha, anyone who feels like they want to ask something? I guess, sir, you are being very clear about your concepts. So I am better recording this lecture and we'll host it on Skillina Technologies because it's
Okay.
one of, yeah. So let's take this forward. So, sir, one recent thing happened which was JP Morgan performed their first transaction using cryptocurrency in space. So
Yeah.
yeah, so what like we were listening about Elon Musk coming in and he's saying like I'll make commercial like space travel commercial. I've seen a lot of technologies coming up, but we never heard about a transaction happening like that way. And it was in news and a lot of people read about this and tweets were there. So what it is like, what is the clarity like how someone like from someone like me and my parents and anyone, how can a transaction happen in space? So this is more interesting. Yeah.
So basically, JP Morgan wanted to test the blockchain technology in a totally decentralized manner.
Okay.
So they said that what better space than escaping from Earth and doing it in space. So I mean, like if you're stuck in space for some time and you have to pay your bills, so you can practically pay your bills while sitting inside a satellite, and you can even do transactions there. So that just goes on to prove the strength behind blockchain as a technology. So sorry. So JP Morgan is heavily investing into what is called IoT transactions.
Okay.
So like for example, if the milk inside the fridge is running low, so the fridge could order milk to your e-commerce site,
Okay.
and the milk will be delivered to you in the next 2 hours. So you did not know that you have milk in your refrigerator or not. Your refrigerator is smart enough to order it. So this transaction needs to be saved on the blockchain, because tomorrow you might ask that who paid for this milk and who asked
Who
to
asked for
deliver.
it? Yeah.
So that IoT device has ordered for you. This transaction is important for you to know.
Yeah.
Similarly, in a lot of other cases, for example, if you're driving if there's a driverless car, you call a driverless car and it needs to fill up with petrol. So it will go to a petrol, it will create a blockchain-based transaction using your cryptocurrency, and it could be filled up with the car before it arrives at your gate.
Yeah.
So those are the transactions which will be only possible if they are, interacting with the blockchain database. So that is what the JP Morgan's objective was, to try it in a totally decentralized manner where even the humans do not exist and the machines are only playing the game among themselves.
So That was something out of the box. That was not in the list that I had prepared, but it's something that I was curious about. Like I'll ask Ashish sir what is happening and like transactions happening in space and all. So that's pretty amazing. So one thing like as we've discussed about future of blockchain, we have discussed about it's going to be the technology for future. It's the technology for present. People start investing, opting cryptocurrencies. A lot of things coming up. But sir, one research paper, I hope you would agree. We both studied some, like we both shared the same reference, and there was it was a comparison graph between US, China, and us, our nation, India.
Yeah.
So there they were talking about like the share of blockchain in the GDP of India by 2030 or the countries by 2030, right? So it was $440 billion for China. It was 400 plus $billion for US, of course. But it was a mere share of around 50, 45, 30, 45 billion dollar for India. And I can agree for USA, but China sharing almost the same demographics with us, having a count of same population with us, a youth-driven population in both the countries. Why it is so that they have a 450 billion USD share and we have a 50 billion USD share, less than 50. So this was something that I want to know. Yeah.
So a couple of factors responsible for that. So one thing is that the adoption by the governments is a real pusher to this technology. So like for example, you can use blockchain technology for the land registry that you do. Okay. So that could be done on blockchain. So we have applications like e-voting. So voting could be registered. So people do not trust the EVM machines, for example. Whosoever is the loser, he doesn't believe in EVM machines. So we could take this voting onto a blockchain application where the chance of malicious transaction is practically zero. Okay. So we could have many more applications on the blockchain. So firstly, the government has to drive this adoption. So this is finally some national strategy has come out, and I believe government will be pushing it hard in the future also. So that is the first step. Second thing is into the cryptocurrency space also. So China is developed their own CBDC, central bank developed crypto, which India is still in the nascent stage. So they have taken a lead a couple of years back in develop their own CBDC. So a couple of these steps, they had a good head start. We have been a little slow to adopt to this. We have been a little slow to respond. And also academic and other institutions, they need to provide a ready force of blockchain developers to the industry so that if they have a requirement like this, they don't have to, headhunt the people, they can readily get resources available. So whether it's engineering institute, whether it is a BCA or an MCA or, BBA also, non-IT, non-engineering sectors, they also get a lot of blockchain to their students so that this adoption in the industry can also pick up. The private industry, they also have use cases, but it's just something like who will bell the cat.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that, if they had done, I'm sure this data will be reversed in the next 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's good that if we could also, like, India is doing pretty well at various fronts, and if blockchain or using cryptocurrencies is something that we lag behind in developing these starting steps or taking these starting steps, and if we can still progress and show the world that what we can do, so that is also, like, we have a chance. And yeah, I agree, and I look up to, like, if we can turn around the tables and things go well for India as well, and there is no such gap like 450 billion USD and 50 billion USD. So this is something that if we have a long mile to travel, but like, let's hope for the best, and it's a future statistic, so we can just wait. So sir, we have a couple of youngsters there. We have Riya, we have Isha, we have Pratiksha. A lot of these all are known members of mine, and they all are youngsters. They all are 20. They are less than 20 years of age. So they all think when we talk about these things, सबके mind में एक चीज़ आती है कि मैं blockchain पढ़ूँ तो what I would be, like मैं आगे क्या बन सकता हूँ, what are the options. A lot of people demand, like if you will tell a youngster कि this is blockchain industry, learn about this, knowledge is one part, they'll be interested in acquiring the knowledge, but sometimes the motivation is driven कि what are the career prospects, or what are my salary percentage or incentives in the industry, what is the growth parameter. So for the youth members in this meeting, and most of them are youngsters, so I would love to know the career prospects of the industry that this puts forward, the industry puts forward in front of us. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of avenues that can be available for 20s and the 30s. So basically, you can start by being a blockchain developer.
Okay.
So you can learn a little bit of coding, and you can start making your own applications.
Okay.
In fact, before you land up any job, you could work towards a few freelancer projects also.
Yeah.
So a lot of freelancing sites have projects ranging from $50 to $500. So try to get some experience over there before you really apply. Build up a GitHub profile of what all projects that you've done during your study and also during your freelancing days, and then land up a job. And then once inside the organization, you could quickly rise to become a project manager. You could be making presentations to clients on how blockchain can be adopted in their workspace. You could become a blockchain architect, that how and which blockchains features will be suitable for your business case. You could be in the consulting line, you could be in the software development line, and you could also be in one of the industries who is really looking forward to adopting blockchain in the future, perhaps. For example, let's say Hero Motor Corp is planning to have a blockchain network with all its dealers. So it has around 5,000 dealers, let's say, and they want to bring all of them under one framework where they can freely distribute data on an immutable ledger. So how do they go about it? So you could be one person in the organization who could say that, yes, I know about blockchain, I can discuss this with the software technology firms, and the adoption could be then much more smoother. So your organization could benefit from your experience in that way also.
Agreed. Yeah. That is absolutely. I guess it helps all the young members in this meeting, and who all are looking up for a technological career ahead into blockchain, or maybe they are not from a background into tech, but like learning coding is not a big deal nowadays. Everybody they can learn coding.
I mean, I was not a coder for. I've started coding in the last 3 years only.
Okay.
And I was fairly surprised to know that how simple it is. At the time I started, I always thought, oh my God, this is something super confusing and expensive.
Yeah.
But then when I started it, I found it pretty easy. I mean, at least my age also, if I could pick up, then the youngsters. I can see students even in class 10th or 12th, they are making such rave applications. So coding is no big deal, and develop an interest for it if you really want to do it.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting, and like if someone learns a bit of coding and they can dive into this deep industry, which is actually giving so much opportunities and comes with a loads more of future prospects. So that's absolutely amazing about the blockchain industry. It's actually a revolution that is happening. One thing, sir, let's talk about like when we sit down and you've like 20 years is a fair amount of time spending in the industry on different roles, working with different professionals from India and abroad, absorbing things, reflecting your opinions. A lot of things as an individual you change a lot in the journey when you start, right? And where you've been today. So I want to extract small viewpoints or tips from your side for youngsters. Like I'll because I'm a youngster, so I'll love to know this first. Youngsters on the professional front and on the personal front also. Like a lot of individuals are stuck into phones and all, mobile phones and a lot of things and gadgets and all. So this is one that I want on the personal front that you advise sitting down the line after 20 years in the career. And one I would love to know, which is the personal front, or like the professional front, like how to actually achieve what you are actually aspiring, or how you can achieve something that you're believing in. So this is what I would love to know, and everybody, I hope the youngsters would love to know.
Okay. One advice I would like to give is that please follow your passion. So develop a passion first of all, understand what your passion is, and then follow your passion. So you please take up a job, you take up a profile which really entices, I mean, is interest to you, which really brings excitement to you. So don't just follow a job which is a good payer, or don't follow a brand which is good in name, but follow something that you really love to do. If you love to do a designing, then go for a designing job. If you love to do coding, go for a coding job. If you love to do, arts and music, please follow that also. There's a lot of opportunities everywhere to excel, and keep following your passion. And it's not a 1 day or a 2 day game. Having a career for the next 25, 30 years, you need to start small. Don't be in a rush to grow up. Enjoy your youth time, spend it well. Don't bring it down thinking about money and retirement benefits and stuff like that. Just live your life every day, follow your heart, and you will definitely excel in whatever you're doing. And in case you are in trouble, please take advice. This is the biggest problem I see in the youth today. They don't take advice. They think that they know everything, but it's never. You don't be ashamed to take advice from anybody. It could be your youngster also. It could be your seniors also. It could be your parents or relatives of just about anybody on the street. You may or may not agree to his advice. That's another issue. But do not be ashamed to take advice. Do not be ashamed to ask questions. Let it come whichever way it comes, and I'm sure you will be as successful in every stream, any stream that you take up.
Yeah. So it's like all about. Sorry. So it's all about enjoying the journey that you travel, rather focusing on just on to go. Like having a aim is also important, but enjoying the journey is really something that we need to keep in mind. And the second thing I can extract is like always be open to opinions of others. Always be flexible enough to absorb things, and then reflect them back. So advices can come from anywhere, and you can like a solution to a rocket science problem can come into barely from a co-mate or something. So that is something we should be open enough, right? So this is something that I learned right now. And so one interesting thing that I saw on your LinkedIn profile is a traveler and a foodie. So that is something I am interested about. Like you have lectures all day, you are working with us, you are a blockchain evangelist, and a lot of experience. Now, how do you manage your activities as a foodie and a traveler? So that is also interesting.
It's in my genes. I love to eat. I live to eat. Some people eat to live, but I live to eat. So I enjoy whatever I eat. I enjoy to cook. I enjoy to travel. I enjoy to meet new people. So that's where you keep on interacting. You keep on learning. So how did I land up this space 3 years back was also pretty much by an accident. Okay. And once I'm here now, I'm thoroughly enjoying my space. So you also get out of your space whatever time you have over a weekend, or maybe take out a couple of days from your hectic schedule. If you're working in a job, don't think that the whole company is working because of you only. You can always be excused for a few days here or there. So make new friends, learn the tricks of the trade from wherever you can. And that's what I've been doing ever since I also did my engineering 25 years back.
So, they actually say that traveling teaches a lot more than just sitting in classes. So I guess you are a live example of that. So you have you've traveled a lot, you have interacted with people, and that's what your experience is all about. So now, sir, one thing that is that we all want to hear about, and even as a co-founder and the director of Skill Arena, I want to know like why, like, we were not a brand, we were just building up. We were also learning. We were a startup. We were learning every day. And two individuals, young enough, 20 years, 21 years, came to you with an idea and wanted you to collaborate your knowledge. And and being a lot of there are a lot of big brands in the market. You can go for Udemy, you can go for My Captain, you can go for Coursera. So a lot of brands sitting out there. Then also we collaborated, and your course is loved by a lot of individuals. You're working with us. So what does this lead to? Like, why you chose us, and how is the collaboration been with us? So we would love to know this.
Okay. Well, I've interacted on a lot of other platforms like the ones you named, but I found that they are basically, one way in nature. So it's just throwing some information. If you can pick it up, it's fine. If you don't pick it up, you are stuck. But what I like about Skill Arena is that the students can really interact with the tutors. They can have sessions over the weekend or whatever time they have. They can take time with the tutors to clarify their thoughts or clarify whatever the problems is. And one thing I like about Skill Arena management as such is that you people are young, you people are ready to experiment. You guys are ready to listen also, and you understand the problem of the youth. So basically, if there would have been a managing director like me, he would have been thinking the way we grew up 25 years back. But that's not the case with you guys. You know the pulse of the youth. You know where it pinches the most. So you've taken steps to resolve those issues. And I found that it's been a pleasure working with you guys, because you guys have been very flexible and listening to our experience as the journey has traveled. We have traveled a lot of time together. So I think so Skill Arena has this rare combination of youth and experience, and it's more interactive in nature. The courses are more interactive in nature than just being one-sided affair.
Yeah.
That way, so the whoever the signees are, they have had a great experience, and I'm sure they will do good in their careers also.
That's amazing. Thanks a lot for your kind words, sir. So anyone from the audience now, if he or she wants to add something to what Ashish sir has said so far, Mr. R.K. Agarwal, if you could help us with some of your words, like about what, like, you must have known Ashish sir long back, but any views that you got from this seminar, like this is what he's talking about and I love the insights. Anyone with a feedback, anyone with something that you want to share on the platform. So the stage is all open for you guys, and you can just help us with some views. So anyone from the audience, and I'll appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Shurek, how are you?
I'm doing absolutely fine.
Thanks, got an idea about the blockchain, and I'm going new to the field. So I just want to know, want to understand what exactly is blockchain, what we can do, what is the future of blockchain, what projects, what kind of projects can be developed using blockchain.
Yep.
Like he has rightly said that government has to take a big initiative in implementing the things. There are a lot of other fields in the government sector where the blockchain can be truly implemented. Like one of the best scenario where it can be implemented is the education system.
Agreed.
Like you must have heard of a few years ago, the government of India has launched the DigiLocker concept.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Right, yeah. We can download the app on our mobile phones, and I can get my all the documents, or I can get my matric certificate also online.
Yeah.
My driving license, LPG cylinder, lot of things, lot of official documents, government documents I can download it on my app. Right? So, but the thing is कि now the government has said कि driving license, driving documents are not important to carry with you.
Yeah.
But अब मैंने एक मार्केट में गया, लोकल प्रिंटिंग शॉप वाले को पकड़ा, उसको बोला एक बना दे यार, फोटो खींच के डाल लिया मोबाइल पे. How you ensure it is authentic or not?
Agreed. Yeah.
Authenticity is actually the major issue in every document.
Exactly.
Every data we are having.
Because you cannot trust. There's a lack of
Yeah,
trust.
trust. Yeah, the authenticity or trust, we can say that. That is majorly a factor nowadays when we talk about digital, e-documents, e-things. So that plays a very major role in that. So blockchain can be a good start in that.
Exactly. Very true.
The conditions apply.
Look at the way your fake degrees are floating all over the book.
Yeah, very true. Very
So
true.
you go to an employer in Mumbai and tell him that I am done graduation from Bennett University. So how can he trust you whether this is a real or a fake degree? So
Very true.
Bennett University has a blockchain framework. So they have uploaded all the credentials of the student with whatever projects he has done. And even in the employer end, the employer can also upload that what all job content the person has done. So there is a automatic e-resume which is available for a student. So 5 years or 10 years down the line, I may not be needing a resume to upload on Naukri.com. I'll be only uploading a link of the blockchain database, which is holding my degree, which is holding my credentials in the jobs that I have done. And everything is verified from the word go.
Very true.
Yeah. So I guess, sir, it's like we have traveled like we have started the process, but when we talk about the digital India and all, so government is taking steps, but there is still a huge gap between the implementation of the final process. And if the implementation is good, then people can surely trust. There is lack of campaigns that the government is doing and taking care of. So
Actually, a very huge infrastructure is required for this.
yeah,
Very huge infrastructure.
agree.
Network plays a very big role in that.
Yeah,
But
that agree.
और चीजें अच्छी हो रही हैं इंडिया में.
Yeah.
So yeah,
For example, Walmart is sourcing a lot of seafood from India, from Visakhapatnam.
okay.
Now, where exactly that seafood is going, in which store of US, they can track over a blockchain network. So if there is any consignment which is, smelling bad when it arrives, so they can pinpoint that where it was sourced from and where did it go wrong.
Okay.
Things like that would taking 20 days for them to track is not taking 2 seconds. So Walmart has done this change with pork for the mangoes and with fishes they source from India.
Okay.
So this is the power of blockchain, that real world application like operations like Walmart, they are investing heavily. IBM is investing heavily. Musk is investing heavily in tracing their containers. So for example, if my container is coming from US to Mumbai and I do not trust whether it's at the which port it is currently. So the IoT data will be immediately saved on the blockchain. So I need not ask anybody. I can simply go to that database and check the whereabouts of my container. So there are a lot of players abroad who have invested heavily. The Indian organizations also need to take even baby steps today. That maybe in another couple of years, they will have the POCs ready, they will have the applications ready for deployment.
Absolutely. Completely agreed. Anyone else with a question, feedback, suggestion, and how do you like the session and all? Anyone from the team, anyone from the audience who has a viewpoint? So please speak up, and the floor is open for you guys, and or else we'll just stand up and so anyone from the team or anyone from the audience right now?
So everything has a advantage and a disadvantage. I would like to know, like, if there is something we should be careful about while using blockchain, or if there are any drawbacks to it.
But very good. So a couple of points here to see that first of all, like the data that we are adding to the ledger, we are sharing it across all the ledgers in the network. So if there are 10,000 people network, then all the 10,000 people will be having a copy of that ledger. So you don't want to put too much heavy files on blockchain. So if you're trying to, something like YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, if you're trying to make on a blockchain, then it is not possible, because we want to keep it very data light. Because even if 1 MB of data that you are adding into the ledger, that multiplied by 10,000 nodes, that means we are adding almost 10 GB of data worldwide. So somebody has to pay for that. So storage cost is very heavy. So blockchain is typically used for storing data which is light in nature. Or there are some other techniques also to keep heavy data off the chain and then bring it a hash into the on chain. But per se, it has to be used for applications which are very having a light amount of data, not data heavy. Second, another problem is that every time you have to do a transaction, there is a cost involved. So there are miners which are doing the verification of your network and everything. So you have to pay some fees, especially in the public blockchain, not in a private blockchain, but in a public blockchain. So there is a cost involved. So today, if I'm transferring 1,000 rupees using Google Pay or Paytm, I don't have to pay anybody anything. But if I'm doing a transaction using my cryptocurrency, so there will be some cost involved, although it is not very high. But yes, there is a cost for every transaction involved. So these are some of the things you need to understand that blockchain has some certain drawbacks. But over a period of time, these drawbacks are also getting removed to a very large extent as the technology is progressing. So people are now making use cases how they can avoid this problem also. And I think so in a couple of years down the line, and like for example, scalability used to be a big issue. We could not do too many transactions per second. We were doing around 10 to 20 transactions per second. But now there are solutions that we could do 10,000 to 1 lakh transactions per second. Maybe by the end of this year, we will be seeing technologies who can scale up to that level. So this is in line with any other bank in the world. So banks are typically like Visa or MasterCard, they are doing around 3 to 5,000 transactions per second. So blockchain protocols could exceed even those levels. So a lot of technological advancements are going on, and the future is looking very bright from all sides.
Okay. So
I have a question. So what I have heard about blockchain, people say that using it is not that good because it is like somewhere or the other, it breaches the privacy. So can you just share some preventions that one can opt for or whatever one can do before using blockchain to maintain a good privacy?
Okay, there are two types of blockchains. One is the private, one is the public one. So if you are on a private blockchain, then there's complete data privacy possible. And it is also can be permission in nature, so you don't let just about anybody enter your network. And when you are on a public blockchain, you have to share the data with everybody. That is the basic philosophy behind it. So your wallet could be open to everybody. Anybody can see your balance and transactions. But at the same time, there is complete anonymity available. So you are transacting only with an account number. You don't know the face behind that number. So the person you were interacting with could be sitting next to you also. He could be your relative also. He could be your subordinate also. He could be your somebody you know in your daily life also, or he could be somebody sitting miles apart. So anonymity is still possible along with the transparency that we have. So privacy is by far possible at all stages if you do not, publicly declare yourself in any platform.
yeah, I guess Megha and Ria, your questions are answered. Anything that you want to ask, you can follow up. Other than this, sir, we have a question from audience from Mr. Arush Sharma, and he's asking, he's mentioned the question in the chat box, what is the role of encryption in blockchain? And secondly, is the Dogecoin really have a future? So he's asking this.
Encryption is very necessary. All the transactions that we do are heavily encrypted. So this encryption is what prevents that anybody during the transmission, nobody should be able to see what data I am transferring, and nobody should be able to tamper with that data also. So suppose I am trying to transfer 1 Bitcoin to you. So during the transmission, it should not be visible to anybody, and nobody should be able to modify this transaction also. So that is where the role of the encryption comes in. So all cryptocurrencies, the word crypto means cryptographically hashed. So cryptographically they are secured, so that brings safety to the transactions. And secondly, about the Dogecoin was a sleeping coin for the last 5 years, unless there was a tweet by Elon Musk. So there's a lot of craze because Elon Musk is a role model for a lot of youth all over the world. So people are finding it, because Elon Musk says that I like Dogecoin, so people are now buying Dogecoin. But I do not really subscribe to his views. If you subscribe, it is your own wish, but I would not like to comment anything on any particular cryptocurrency because I will not like to give any financial advice as such. It's your prerogative whether you want to believe Elon Musk or not. And I remain totally neutral on it.
Okay. Okay. I hope, Arush, your question is answered. Anyone else with a question right now from the audience? We'd love to have your questions on floor. Anyone with views, suggestions, with feedbacks, how we can improve these sessions, how frequently we should. So, yeah.
I just wanted to say, sir, you're one of the finest mentors we have, and I totally loved the session. And yeah, so I really look forward to more sessions like this.
Sure. It will be a pleasure interacting with you and the audience that you brought in. Very knowledgeable one, and I'm sure they would have also benefited by whatever time they spent in the last 1 hour.
Surely, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so I guess anyone else? We look forward to your views, suggestions, questions, anything on the floor, guys. Okay, so sir, I guess we have dived into the industry a bit for in this 1 hour of session. We have covered various aspects of your journey, your relevance in the industry, then joining the blockchain technology, then getting hands-on experience in this, then going into the teaching domain. A very great one for you. And I feel like as the founder of a company where we have collaborated with you, where you are a mentor for us, where you are teaching our students, students like us, people like us who look up to people for knowledge. And the most important part is, sir, that being at your position also, you are polite enough and generous to share your knowledge with the youth out there and help this nation develop a superpower just by investing your knowledge and time in the youth for skill development. So it was great having you, sir, with us, and I hope everyone in the audience agrees with this. Your insight on everything, your opinions were up to mark with all these things, the views that you gave. And I, as a person, I was sitting with an open mind to absorb things. And I actually feel that I've learned something in this session and I've gained, and I'll take something back. And this is something that I'll take a start and start taking interest into the blockchain industry and even Bitcoin. So thanks a lot, sir. It was a pleasure to have you with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your invitation. I look forward to having a session with you sometime in the near future again.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So I guess sir would take the leave, and thanks everyone for the gift of your time and sharing your viable suggestions, questions with us. And I hope nothing but this session gives you adds some value addition to your life, and you also start learning about the blockchain industry today. For more such knowledge from Ashish sir, we have a course with the name of Blockchain, Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency, which is live on the platform of Skill Technologies, where he talks about everything from cryptocurrency to applications of blockchain, and even he gives live projects and all. So, and with this, you even get internships and live projects from Skill Technologies in association with Mr. Ashish Kumar. So, do check that out, and thanks a lot for your presence, and we look up to meeting you guys again. And thanks for being a very nice audience. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Okay.